team. It started at IIT Madras and it connects so well to what I just heard. Earlier in the presentation session is the idea of Thermalgy was to measure, offer a product which Professor Satya was working on, heat pumps, the high temperature heat pumps. And how do you sell that? Because it's a new technology and you always have a fear whether technology would work or not. And to do that, you need to have a measurement capability. So to measure the heating or sell as a heating as a service, what you mentioned about cooling as a service, Thermalgy was conceptualized where you measure thermal plus electrical energy. So the name contains thermal plus electrical energy, and that's how Thermalgy was formed, and we ended up building a device which does this job. So essentially measuring the performance of a chiller or a performance of heat pump so that you can sell that amount to the customer. But soon we realized what we have built, which ended up a IoT device and associated software platform, and the challenges we were solving can be expanded to much larger problem, which is in general digitization, and then bringing the piece of data which I come from. So I have an experience of 15 years into corporate world working for GE, Global Research, GE Transportation, then Linux, and they all compass into industrial machines optimization using data and physics. So using that knowledge and the power of digitization, can you bring a change into the industry? That's how the Thermalgy grew from just measuring thermal plus electrical energy to serving a sector like hotel. Our current focus is hotel industry and the OEMs, which is basically into heating and cooling equipments. These two are the sectors. And really the vision is to democratize this technology. What I mean by democratize is take this piece of IoT, and which has got very fancy name, but the application, if you look at the ground, are very simple and very intuitive. If you think as a human being, and that's where we are saying democratizing and move to industry 5.0. 4.0 is all have been about digitization. But if you see the piece which is missing, and some of the point sir highlighted in his thoughts, how do you bring human into it? Now human, when you say the human of 3 generations are working together in a hotel, somebody who has a significant experience of just by seeing or feeling, you can say whether HU has a problem or chiller has a problem or phase has a problem, versus a new generation which is not at all taught practical experiences of these things, and they are coming out of fresh from college. Now they don't have the tendency to, go and spend such a year of time which we have done as a chief engineers or the generation. So they just want to have data on front on their hand and still be able to convince their boss, which is all of you sitting here, that I have understood the problem correctly. Now how technology can help and bring the human piece back into the technology and blend them together such a way technology is helping you on day to day. That's what Thermalgy vision is. So I'm just going to briefly cover, most of you are aware about IoT, but I'll just set the ground and how it can help hotel industry. So IoT is essentially a culmination of 4 different technologies. The first one is your equipment itself. Better the equipment, all we know, you are going to do a good job. So that's what we had in the morning. But that's just one level of it. Probably you can reach, if I take an example of chiller, 0.9, 0.8 IKW per TR. But now, if you bring the piece of sensors, which is basically knowing how this machine is performing over a period of 10 years, or as I speak today, how it is performing this room, that's the sensor piece. Now, measuring that piece is limiting you to have that information only available to selected few. If you communicate that piece, that information over a communication network, be it GSM or Wi-Fi or LoRa, whatever, I have some devices on the desk which Ajay will pass, that becomes the IoT piece, not the maintenance in charge. So that's the information part. Now the top layer of all the 3, so one is equipment, second is the sensing capability, third is communication capability. The 4th piece comes is the layer of data. Now somebody has to have that ability to understand that data, has to have that ability to convert this data into an actionable form. Otherwise data is a headache. And I'm very happy to say, when I started this journey in 2016-17, I was seeing data itself is a problem. But now, of late, I'm seeing a lot of data is present and people are saying what I can do with this data. Can you help me with me taking some educated, application? So that's where IoT is all about culmination of these 4 technologies, and it cannot be done without the domain expertise. It cannot be done without a proper sensing capabilities. So keep that in mind as we build this IoT system for the hotel industry. Now, coming to hotel industry specifically and the role of IoT, if you look at hotel industry and you compare with the other buildings, office, retails, industrial, we are lagging behind in terms of our ability to consume or save energy, if I put that way. And for a very good reason, it's because it's a guest-facing industry. The priority is number one is the guest. But IoT is one such technology which can help you bridge that gap. So currently, the average of hotel is about 246 kilowatt hour per meter square per year. Your hotel, of course, you may be up or down depending upon how well you are on energy. But as a worldwide average target is to reach 170 by 2030. And a lot of hotel leadership has committed to this. How will it happen? And if you see the IoT piece, the IoT is an enabler to reach there. It's not about only saving energy, but doing so by impressing your guest, by impressing your employees who are next generation, by ensuring everybody is connected. That's where the role of IoT is. And as per one of the study, that 15% of the installed base basically is the smart meter. Currently is very, very low, and it's going to grow very, very fast. And 50% of the decision makers are saying they are going to deploy in next 12 to 24 months the IoT piece. So this is a survey done in 2019, and by I speak now, a lot of this is already happening, and that's why we are talking IoT today. And of course, the last news is about the power tariff, which has gone up. So there is an extra importance on energy, that what you do with it. Now another angle which is very important to all of the hoteliers is managing the complaints or the guest happiness. And if you see, the number one complaint is about related to temperature, hot or cold. In this premises itself, we may have different temperature pocket depending upon how well this is managed. And that's number one, followed by Wi-Fi and all. So it does make sense that it's very important, which we heard from Mr. Raghavan, managing your air conditioning. The high side is one part of and low side as well. Now, the IoT is one such technology which can connect all the three stakeholders. We are having chief engineers here, then we have general managers, the owner of the hotels, and then guests. And it can play a role. I will show some examples today when I present how it can help. Now, coming from chief engineer's perspective, some of this you already heard, that these are the three things which drives your day budget for a given project which you have to complete, the time line associated with it. You are doing multitasking, from solving a complaint to completing a new project, to doing the staffing all the time. When you have a attrition very high, COVID time, lot of teams change, new people have come, they don't have any understanding of how this system used to be. You may say, right, this chiller is like that, but they don't know that this is how it is. How do you bridge all this gap? These are some of the challenges you probably are facing. Of course, happy to hear other challenges in the dinner time. Now, if you look at your tracking currently, the way you are doing this, again a study done by Limble CMMS, 53% of the tracking is done using spreadsheets, okay, followed by paper. You have logbooks, right? You have got DCR report, HLP reports, the logbook data converted into Excel sheet, then somebody is generating a report using that energy consumption, water consumption data and sending into a WhatsApp. So this is all happening. Now how do you reverse it? So IoT piece is only 9%. If you reverse it, where you say 53% is IoT enabled, meaning what? The time which is going into doing all this is freed up, and you are ready to do more meaningful things, including helping the society, what we had. Now, that's one aspect, which is your tracking. If you look at the equipments, the unscheduled maintenance, which of course this is one of the key things, not just hotel, but other plants as well. The aging of the equipment is the main reason for unscheduled maintenance things, and there are so many other reasons also, poor design and all. But if you want to really reduce this unscheduled maintenance, the monitoring of an equipment health is the number one game changer. Apart from, of course, you doing upgrade of the equipments, going for new chillers. So the nutshell, the point is that if you have an ability to monitor the performance of your equipment, ability to track what is going on in your operations digitally, you stand better chance not only to manage your resources but also your equipments and your own time. That's how Thermalji, all this actually knowledge came while interacting with some of you. I have in the audience right now who are some of our clients, and through them we have spent time and understood how hotel works, what really the pain point is, and the solution what we have built has been customized for the hotel industry. And that's the reason I am part of this forum and presenting here. And the reason it happened is we have got hardware piece. Some of those are lying on the table. Ajay, I would ask him to circulate. It's one of the IoT. Measuring is just one part of it, as I said. Until unless you show it in a form which is actionable, it's of very limited use. Actionable to multiple people at multiple level. That's where domain knowledge comes. The understanding of hotel comes. I got that from the people sitting here. Thank you really. And I come from the industrial background or data background. We just merged out to build this platform. So what I'll do, I'll just quickly introduce the products what we have got and then do a live demo, which I have permission from Sir Karthikeyan to show one of the hotel we have done for them in terms of what currently it looks like. So we have three products. First is a smart energy, we call it. It's really focused on monitoring, which is the critical aspect of hotel operation is energy. Through energy you can indirectly do a lot of things. Second product is what we have got is a smart premises that is focused on connecting beyond energy, basically connecting your equipment, which is chillers, AHUs, pumps, your water, LPG, and bringing them all of them together in terms of tracking. Third is the AI-driven controls, which some of them Sir alluded, Mr. Raghavan earlier, that how can data intelligence bring the savings. It's not about just connecting to a better equipment and you are done. There is HVAC is a non-linear system. When I say non-linear, if you think if I do X, Y, Z will happen, that's not the case. X and Y itself is varying in time and your Z itself would be also varying in time. So that's where the data piece comes. These are the three products and in phase manner we are implementing in multiple sites. So phase one is what I'll just quickly show some live demo in terms of energy monitoring system. This is one of the live site right now, as I see right now and show you. Here we are connected with multiple systems in Residency Coimbatore. This is Residency Coimbatore site, and they have got, of course, as any hotel we have, chiller plants, AHU room, guest room. So we are connected. We have put a smart meter there, and through smart meter we are getting the data. Now, how do you present this data is very important. Is what I want to get your attention to. Of course, the high level we are showing you how much you have consumed yesterday, today, MTD, your regular DCR, and converting that into carbon footprint which you are having. But if you get into one granular level, what you see here is the live information about your chiller. One of the chiller which is there in this site is Daikin chiller. How that chiller consumption is varying with time and how it is different from yesterday. So as a chief engineer you have the information now. My chiller is as of 8:31 is consuming 7% more. Now you have an insight on number of rooms which is being booked, or I have a banquet hall event today here, so I expect load to be more. But can that help in driving some of the operations? If you see a big change, you are rightly alerted for taking an action in real time. Other thing we show is here is electrical health. How your performance of the machine is with respect to electricity, the phase neutral thing you have right here available on your mobile. Next level, if you go, this also shows you the distribution of your energy consumption. So HVAC is supposed to be the highest energy consumption we all know. So chiller plant is about 27% today, and if you compare that with yesterday, with this month, you have an average in your mind, and soon after a few weeks of seeing this data, you build a pattern in your mind. Now this I am saying just with monitoring. If you go to the AI based solution, that's what AI will do. It will generate a pattern, and as soon as that pattern is different from your previous week or month, it will start giving you alerts. But as a human, we are very good. If you show something repetitively, 27%, 28%, 29%, you build that pattern, and you will remember for your hotel how the distribution is sooner or later, and that will help you really debug a lot of things which you will see, and your employees, your new generation. Another way to show this information is hourly binning. Each hour, how my energy is being consumed in a slot wise. So now with this you can easily make out that my condenser pump 2 was running in the midnight till 6 a.m. Now that was a planned event, so everything is good, but if it is not, you come to know just visually. Now this is just one way to show. Then there are a lot of inbuilt analytics which has been given, which your maintenance engineer or assistant engineer can go and play out, like for example comparing the machine consumption with previous week. So this is same machine, how it is behaving in terms of energy consumed compared to previous week. which is your next immediate comparison, Tuesday to Tuesday, Wednesday to Wednesday. Or you want to compare two different AHUs of same capacity, how are they performing? All that is being shown here. So I'll not take more time, but just to give a glimpse of the platform, and this platform has been built with custom input from hoteliers, how they would like to see this information. Now, if you look at what does this really do? By doing this simple energy monitoring, anybody can do, but the point here is to do something great, you have to start somewhere, and this is the foundational need of any building, I would say. Hotel is of course one of the building, and if you just don't have this system in place, you are missing out really very, very trivial, and this something is highly recommended. Just by monitoring energy, it is proven that you can save 5 to 7% of energy just by monitoring. You are not taking any on-purpose action. Now 5 to 7% may look very small, but if you add over a period of time and recurring, it's a big saving. And how do you enable it? All you need is a smart metering and a software which understands what you want to see and how you want to show. These two things, if you bring, IoT devices are plenty in the market. You can take from anyone and enable this. Next is it can help you reduce your operational expenses really by helping your staff to become more digital, not taking too much time in logging the decades, making those errors, silly errors, and nobody is even noticing it. But if you coordinate that really well, it can save you 1 to 1.5 head count. And of course, your ability to now respond is much more proactive. As soon as you know your condenser exit temperature or cooling tower approach is going up, that there is an issue with the cooling tower, and you don't have to wait for the complaint to come from the guest, the temperature has shoot up. Now all this information is available, and tool is going to guide you that what action you can do that. So these are the few ways just monitoring can help you get better off of your hotel operations. Now how does it really work? Your current process is about, I'm not sure all of you are much ahead of this game, possibly. Few of you may not be yet, but process which I have seen at quite a few hotels is about logbook, collecting the data and putting into Excel sheet and generating messages. This will be digitized using the piece which you have been circulated here. The financial model for Thermalgy is primarily the IoT devices all comes on the capex. The software is purely subscription on, primarily for a reason. The big difference from BMS is what subscription model brings, and I will just allude to that fact in a way. So you may also think you already have a BMS system. Of course, 40 to 50% of BMS systems may be down, not just because of COVID, but in general because of the several reasons. But if you see what IoT is doing is it's shifting focus from automation to an outcome, which is your performance. So that's a big difference between IoT and BMS. If somebody says, what is the big deal? I have already automated, I already have a smart meter, I already have connected thing, but what are you doing with it? Is it helping you in day to day? So that's where the IoT piece is. The commissioning and reliability. Of course, the commissioning part is much simpler in a case of IoT because you have got a lot of wiring removed. So a lot of headache of putting dangles have been reduced. The reliability when it comes to, it's a two-edged sword. Of course, your existing BMS systems are hardwired, so they are much more reliable in terms of data coming to you. But IoT at the same time is communicating over Wi-Fi, 2G. You have hiccups in terms of not connectivity all the time available. But with the modern technology and the time which we have spent in the devices, that has been matured a lot compared to what it was 3-4 years back. So that's on the the reliability piece of the data. Now with hardware, with BMS system, you can be very well stuck with the old hardware and software for 5 years, 7 years, and until unless you pay that yearly fee, you are stuck. You are not going to get the new software upgrade. But with IoT-based subscription model, which we have, you are always state of the art because it's our responsibility and two-way vested interest to give you the state of the art in terms of the software and also the information which is coming out of it. So that's a very, very important difference to make sure these systems are not just used one time for first 1 year and left for idling. Of course, the expertise. Now you do need a lot of expertise in fixing the problem in the BMS. You cannot rely on somebody from your team to really fix it out, but that's not the case here with IoT. A lot of issues which we see while we were building this platform were solved by the person at the hotel itself. because the issues are very, very trivial and because it's not too complex technically. So that's again a big difference what we have here. Of course, as I said, it's a vested interest from both the parties. That's what subscription model brings. There is a shared responsibility to see the impact. So really it's about moving from automation to performance optimization as we move to IoT. Now here is one example. How can you use this information in a very intuitive way? So this is like saying you coming to the office in the morning and now want to know what is the performance of my operational performance, and what you have to do is run this out. So it can be integrated with Alexa. Let me see if it works here. There is a sound here.
Hey Dhawanji, can you tell me how we did last day on energy consumption?
Last day's total consumption cost was 41,260, and the budget was 44,610.
Hey Dhawanji, how many rooms were occupied last day?
Total 40 rooms occupied last day.
So this is just an example where you can communicate this information so easily. You don't have to necessarily rely on a very sophisticated method of tracking. And all this is live. It's not that it will only be available to you at a given point of time. Now this is all done through the smart energy platform. Then we have next platform which allows you to connect to rest of the things. You don't have only energy meters, right? You've got equipments, their performance, chillers, you've got several maintenance records, AMC dues, your room, data if you have, temperature, thermostat, that information. Then you've got HLP spreadsheets containing all your daily consumption. Some of these things are manual because it's not IoTizable, it's not smart. Now all this, a software can help you get this information into a single file like this. So this is actually, we have Mr. Raja here. So this screenshot is from your hotel Hablis, where this information, so everything is not smart and it need not be. Energy meter is smart, but then you don't have chiller which was communicatable, so we had to add a converter. Then you have got heat pumps, you have got boiler, you have got water flow rate, LPG. All this is available in an Excel sheet. All we did is took that information from the computer, combined with what is smart, and created a consolidated report which shows you how many rooms are booked today, how many banquet hall people came, how much money you spent on electricity, how much on water, how much on diesel, and per unit room how much you are spending. Now all this is happening on a recurring basis every day morning, and this is available from general manager to chief engineer to maintenance engineer, same information at the same time, and this enables you to take a lot of actions at different levels. So this is the power of using the fourth arm of IoT, which is the data which is available, but you are not making use of it, and that's what this software does. Now, of course, this presentation can be in different formats. You can have multiple ways of app, or dashboards, alerting, WhatsApp. All this is doable depending upon your convenience of group or what you would like to have. Now, there's another device which is there, which is measuring the indoor air quality. Now, this very unique case which we found while working at the Hablis. This device was used to basically, control some of the daily smell which you see in the room. So this device is capable of measuring particle matter, RH, temperature, VOC, but what it does is it also allows you to measure the smell in the room, which for a housekeeping staff becomes sometimes very tricky because they are used to the smell of that area. So this device allows you to measure the absolute smell in the room, and they use this device as a portable device, plug and play, put it for 2 hours. You come to know if there is any non-conventional smell. Smell could be from, it could be decorative items which guests had used, or food which is lying below the carpet or bed. All that would be detected. And using this thing, you are able to basically go from bad smell to good smell, because it's a very common feedback you get in a room, and especially if the room is locked for some time. Now, same thing, you could integrate this information also with the device like Alexa and make sure that all the rooms are up to date.
Hey everybody, what is the status of the indoor air quality sensor?
Currently, the device is located at room number 314, and the air quality index is 110.
So this is like the device is located in single room and you're talking where it is and what is the quality. Now you can go one step beyond. On the right hand side of the slide, what you see is a poster which is basically having a scanner which gives you an information about the room quality. So the software is set to show the best quality of the room, not after the guest is checked out, but before the check-in. So if you scan, put a poster in your room, and a guest can come and scan and see what is the room air quality. So rather than saying only a poster, I am sanitized or I am the clean, you have a way of quantifying it in a very easier way. And this quantification can really build your loyalty. Some of the guests may really like it, not for all, but this could really help you differentiate. So that's about phase 2, connecting to your guest, connecting the operations to the front line. And phase 3 is all about data, where you basically are connecting to all the systems and collecting data for several months and years. Now if you put them into a software way, so chiller and AHU are connected through a pipe, AHU is giving the air here. But now if you bring this all information out in a software level, what this chart is showing, it looks very complex, but ultimately it's a culmination of data. The physics which this machine is designed for, chiller is designed to run at certain IKW at certain load. Now, and that load and weather is everything is dynamic. Bring that information and bring the controls. Now, if you really do this in real time, it's a huge opportunity to save energy. And what we heard in the earlier session as well, because there is no single optimal point for chiller, pump, cooling tower to tell you that if you run at this speed, you are going to get the minimum energy. This is a dynamic setting which is moving every half an hour, 1 hour. And if you bring this information live with the proper sensing and data capabilities, you are able to save significant amount of energy. So anywhere from 11 to 30% is the number which we have seen at multiple sites in terms of potential which it lies, and if you execute this. Same thing with the AHUs, especially the fresh air. How much fresh air to put is not a single question answer to answer. You put 20% of fresh air. You need to have fresh air based on your outside weather condition, your occupancy, and all this data is available in IoT. Weather data is available on a separate server, your occupancy is available in a CCTV camera or a separate sensor, your indoor air quality is available in a separate sensor. Combine all this and you have a AHU operation which is much more energy efficient and much more comfortable. Now in hotel setting it's a little tricky because we are using AHUs for event, like not for the rooms especially, but in buildings and all this becomes a huge energy saviors. So if you see the bringing all these three together, what we are trying to show on this chart, that using IoT you can not only manage your cost but also manage your top line to some extent, bring better guest experience using these devices. And then since you are doing all this using technology, you are getting future ready. You are making your generation which is used to all these gadgets get more comfortable with working in such environment and feel really part of this community and serve the guest what we are all doing here. So that's pretty much about my presentation. There are last few slides on some of the field installations what we have done. First one is about energy monitoring in a hotel settings. Then we have chiller monitoring, indoor air quality, then commercial building controls. These are some things we have done. These are some of our existing clients. I have place and residency here. So thank you for believing in us, and we have really come a long way for hotel industry in terms of building this platform. Then of course we have clients on OEM sectors which are building chillers and heat pumps. They are also our existing clients. So looking forward to interact more, but call for action is in the brochure what we have given. There is a sheet which says Industry 4.0 Readiness Report. So any one of you would like our team to visit and give you